So at the start of this film, we see a lot of people digging mining. This was a gold mine, which used to extract gold from here. The owner of this mine also comes here to work with his son. In the middle of the conversation, his son said that he forgot his tools at home to work. When he turned back to take them back from the house, suddenly a strange force pulled him. Hearing his scream, his dad also ran after him to save him, but the same force also killed his dad, and we just heard the screams of a creature. The scene is cut, and after many years we meet a girl named Evian. She was researching on the same accident in which thousands of people were killed during mining. No one had been able to know the real reason for this accident yet, but after that incident, the work of mining was stopped there. So much so that now that place was not even found on maps, because it is believed that 70% of the population of that place was killed that day. Evian was collecting all this information because a group of scientists had hired her to find out about the mines again.
After collecting a lot of information about that place, she goes to that place with a group of scientists to find these mines. But as soon as these people reached near the mines, their phone signals were gone. On the way, Evian asks a shopkeeper about the mines. But the strange thing was that the man had clearly refused to be here or to know about these mines. When Evian puts pressure on him, he asks in anger, "What do you have to do there? Go back from here." He was talking as if he was warning Evian. We notice that a man standing in this store was secretly listening to him, who calls someone and says that danger is coming. Evian leaves with her group, but after a while she notices that a car was following her continuously. To trick her, Evian, instead of going towards the mines, moved forward in the jungle, and at the point where the mines were, the man who was following stopped at that point and went back. Evian told her group that he had actually come to know that we are not going towards the mines. As soon as she goes back, these people go back towards the mines. Without seeing that, there was a very big board of danger on the way to the mines. Finally, these people reached the entrance of the mines, whose gate was broken by a high-voltage current. It was not so easy to pass from here, but Evian had to make a way for her group here, too. Putting a rope on a broken tree, these people go inside the mines. It was evening by the time they reached here, but still the scientists collect some samples from here. They set up a camp here and then started talking about the secret behind the disappearance of all the hills. One scientist thought that this would have happened because of the movement of tectonic plates under the ground, while the other scientist believed that there would have been a very big sinkhole here. But the third scientist thought that the U.S. government was behind all this, because at one point, Russia tried to dig the deepest pit in the ground. Maybe to compete with Russia, the U.S. government is also trying to do something like this. The results of the experiment turned out to be so bad that they had to stop all this. That's why all the information here was erased from the internet. Something like this must have happened. He also tells a recording to the rest of the people here, which the Russians recorded from the depth of the ground. It sounded like the voice of a creature, the voice of a devil. But the other scientist hears this and says, "No, this is just the sound of the creaking of the tectonic plates of the ground." As soon as the scene is cut, we see that a man guarding here notices that his gate grills are facing inward, which an animal could never do. It means there was someone inside. They start looking for some more clues here. And the second man, as soon as he sees an installed gate here, suddenly a strange creature pulled him inside the gate and then killed him. Seeing this, the old man, whose name is Paul, is shocked and goes to his group and says, "The scientists who have just come here, get them out of here right now." It clearly meant that the people living here knew that there were scientists in these mines. In the morning, the scientists start their research. They find out that there are a lot of megaphones and studio forms in this place, from which the megaphones record small sounds, while the studio form is used for soundproofing. A little further on, they see a grill under the ground. There was a lot of smoke coming out of it. Before these people collect the samples of this smoke, here they see the same car that was following them the last day. Seeing this car, all these people hide, and after leaving the car, these people start their work again. Arian tells them that whatever you have to do it soon, because the locals know about us that we are here. They will catch us at any time, and we have to go from here. During the conversation, these people were walking, and finally, now he shows them a house that looked very new, and it also looked like someone was living here. But now they didn't see anyone here. These people started recording this room through a camera, and then they saw a lot of oil and gas samples here. They started wondering if this gas is the reason for the absence of mines and villages here. Arian goes ahead and opens the back door of this house, so these people had finally reached the mining area. Seeing this, these scientists are very happy. After all, they had found the place about which they had read stories. All the mining areas were closed with a high-voltage current gate. These people first go and disable the current of that gate. And then they start opening these grids or gates, although Arian was also stopping them from doing this from behind, because there could have been a danger here. But these people don't listen to Arian. After opening these grids, they send a scanner through a rope into the hole, but they don't see anything far away through the scanner. All they could see was that there are a lot of anthracites in this hole, which is a very rare and expensive metal. Seeing this, all these scientists are happy. Suddenly, a scientist hears some strange sounds from below. This sound got so loud that it started hurting his ears. He took off his headphones, through which everyone else could hear that scary sound. By mistake, this scientist's foot is placed on a rope, and an invisible force pulls that man through this rope into that hole, because of which he was injured. He was bleeding, and now from inside the hole, he was screaming for help. Hearing this, Arian and his partner Jamie go inside the hole through a rope. It was very dark here, and in this darkness, Arian sees a shadow of something moving. A lot of weird gases were coming out of this hole, which could have harmed them, could have hallucinated them and made them unconscious. They had to leave this place as soon as possible, but Arian's partner tells him that he won't leave this place without his other partner. In the meantime, a local man comes upstairs who had a gun in his hand, and seeing this, he was getting angry at them, that they opened these grids. He quickly started cutting those ropes that went inside that hole. He didn't know that through these ropes, two people, Arian and his partner Jamie, had gone inside. As soon as he stopped one, both of them got scared and quickly came back up through the same rope. They didn't even have anyone to call for help. On top of that, this local man who was constantly getting angry at them and was telling them to get out of here as soon as possible. To make him calm down, one of them attacked him with his gun and made him unconscious. And even though they didn't want to, they left with this man's car because there was no signal here, and they couldn't even call anyone for help. They left their partner inside this hole, deciding that they will come back to save both of them. With this man's car, they were trying to get out of the forest very quickly, but suddenly their car stopped for a moment, and they realized that their car's tire was brushed. Even though they didn't want to, they had to start their journey on foot. They wanted to reach a city or a village as soon as possible, but before they could leave the forest, they started hearing strange noises. On the other hand, the local man whom they had left unconscious near the mines, he also regained consciousness. Through a radio, he told his companions that the scientists have opened the grids here, and now there is danger here. Before he could tell them more details, a mysterious creature suddenly attacks him and kills him. Before dying, this man could only save an emergency alarm. With this, everyone would know about the creature that came here. Here is Adrian's group, who was trying to get out of the forest and reach any village or town. They hear a strange voice from the forest. This strange voice was exactly like the one the scientists heard in the recording last night. Afraid, they turn off their flashlights, and Adrian starts seeing things through the night vision, and suddenly a very strange monster comes in front of him. To escape from this, they started running, but unfortunately, this monster had already attacked one of their companions. He was very close to Adrian and was about to catch him, but he pushes him away from him and starts running faster, and while running, it reaches its other companions, who had also reached the road at this time. They had also stopped a truck here, behind which these three climb. Even after climbing with Adrian, they fire bullets so that the monster does not reach them in fear. After a while, these people had also reached a nearby town, where they noticed that the locals here had prepared themselves for an emergency situation. Shelby also takes them to a safe house, where they learn that Shelby already knew about these monsters, and he had already collected a lot of information about these monsters. During their conversation, Paul also comes here, the one we had seen near the mines before. He tells them that he has sacrificed his entire life, his entire business for the people living here, and sacrificed to protect the mines, so that someone like you does not come here and cause trouble for the people, but still you did the same. During these conversations, Paul gets a message, in which he was being told that now many creatures have started coming out of that hole, and now Paul has to close that hole, so that those creatures can be stopped. Suddenly they hear the sound of a creature nearby. They understood that the creature had left from there and reached the town here. To escape it, they all hide behind a truck. Through the radio, They get a message to go to another safe house because a lot of monsters had come here and their lives were in danger. The nearest safe house was on the hill. The truck driver who helped them all and brought them here. He was very old. He knew that he could not run so fast and reach the hill, so he decides to volunteer himself. He tells everyone to run away from here, and he himself stands here to distract the monsters. Here he takes a strange bomb-like thing from these people and goes to the creatures and blasts it. Because of this, along with all the creatures, he was also burned to death. On the other hand, this whole group had now reached the other safe house. Arian's companion had told them that they had to stay quiet now, so that the monsters will not be able to find them. They were all trying to stay very quiet. But suddenly the sound coming out of their radio attracts the creature. The creature was outside their safe house, which now came into this house. And these people went to another room to escape the creature. After that, to distract the monster, they throw a plate on the other side. And then they go to the back room and close the door. But here the monster had also sensed them. He breaks the door with just one punch. And the second punch, he hits Jimmy. Jimmy falls hard on the ground. Because of his fall on the floor below was broken. And so they had seen a secret tunnel here. They quickly went inside to save their lives. And running through this tunnel, they reached a hole. They could hear the sounds of these monsters behind them. That's why they tell the aliens, "I am stopping here to distract the creature. You all keep running." While running, they finally find a way to get out of here. There was a fence on top of it, which they broke and came out. But now, there were many more monsters in front of them. To kill them, the second companion of the alien takes out a grenade. Before he could blast the grenade here, the monster caught him. The grenade in his hand was also blasted. Because of this, along with the monsters, he himself was killed. Now Arian and his only companion was left. They had no other choice but to keep running. While running fast, they suddenly had to slow down, because the road ahead was very narrow. Arian was moving forward, but his other companion was not moving from here. He was getting very exhausted. He was having trouble breathing. His health was deteriorating. He was also sad, because he felt that whatever is happening because of him. And it was also true. He confesses everything to Arian in sorrow, that this is all because of him. He had not come here for any science experiment. The truth was that he had come here for a company, which was giving him a lot of money to bring anthracite. That is, to bring the metal that could only be found in this place. And he had even found it here. Hearing this, Arian was sad here. But at that time, he could not say anything to him. She encourages him here, and tells him that mistakes happen to everyone. It happened to me too. Once, in the mountains of Himalaya, I did not let my client die, because at that time, I had to save my life. She tries to encourage him to leave here again, but now he had lost all his hope. Then Arian says, "Okay, now I am going from here, but I promise I will definitely come back for you." After the scene is cut, on the other side, we are shown the scene of the town, where a lot of people were standing with the controller. Because of these controllers, they run those megaphones, the megaphones that we had seen in the mines. The purpose of running this was to get attracted to the megaphones. All these monsters go inside the mines, and then these people will destroy the mines, due to which as many monsters as possible will be killed. Here Arian too, who had reached the top of the ground. She also hears the sound of her poor bullets and starts running towards them, because she knew that there would be humans there. But in the meantime, she faced a monster. The monster could not see her. That's why she hid inside the gun without making a sound. And when she thought that the creature had gone from here, then she came out of the hole of the gun, without knowing that the monster was behind her, who attacked her and made her unconscious. When she regained consciousness, she was in a cave. She had her dead companion lying here, and in front of her was a very big monster. When Arian tries to move, she suddenly panics, because now she was not able to move, and she had understood that she was paralyzed. She was trying to move fast, and her movement made the monster angry. The monster screamed. Hearing her voice, Arian regained consciousness. When she regained consciousness, she was with her other companions, who were able to talk to her. One of them tries to give a grenade to Arian, while the other companion tells Arian that all these monsters are a species. There is a whole colony of these monsters here, who live like ants. Suddenly, a very big creature comes and picks up Arian's companion and feeds her to the monster queen, whose big teeth had put a second nail in her mouth. When the creature was doing all this, Arian went ahead and tried to pick up the grenade, but the creature caught him too, so that she could eat him. But before she could cook for Arian, here her other companion turns on the alarm on her phone, because of which the monster is unconscious. And as soon as the opportunity comes, Arian throws a grenade in the Monster Queen's mouth, because of which in a second, this Monster Queen was killed. And so Arian and his companion were saved. They both quickly ran away from here, while the rest of the monsters were behind them. Finally, they saw a rope here, on which Arian climbed and came back to the ground. But his companion was not there. He was climbing very slowly on this rope, and so a monster also climbs on that rope to save him. This man had stabbed that monster and killed him, but when he saw that now this rope, there are many more monsters attached on rope, so he decides that now he will cut that rope so that these monsters go up to the ground and do not cause any destruction. His decision had taken his life, but it also saved the lives of many people. By the time all these monsters were together, he was busy eating. Many locals come to Arian on the ground, who helped Arian, saved him and took him out, and then threw fire, burned all the monsters and killed them. The remaining monsters, to save their lives, went back to the same hole, after which they permanently closed this hole. Finally, now these people came out of the mine. After coming out of the mine, Paul tells him that your companion, who was stuck in the cave, he was also killed. He was very sad to hear this. She says to Paul, if you tell your story to anyone, no one will believe my story. So he decided that from now on, she will also stay here, and with these locals, will help them to protect this mine by showing this. This movie story ends here. Thanks for watching.